In the 1950s, few would have spoken so openly about spiritual experiences. But in Las Vegas, Nevada, there was a man with the courage to open his mind and trust his instincts. He realized that angels could take many forms, and that he had been chosen to act as a guardian angel to his fellow man.
Vern has always had this beautiful gold aura about him, very peaceful and so full of love.
He could talk to anybody, no matter who it was. The warmness in his voice was something that just drew people to him, and you would just want to sit there and talk to him and know more. People were at my house till 3, 4 in the morning sometimes just talking to my father.
Anyone that came in contact with Vern became very peaceful and loving. They became more sure of themselves, and he gave that to the person. He gave them that gift of knowing they can do anything, accomplish anything.
Even as a young man in the 1950s, Vern Fallstitch possessed a special presence.
He had an inner glow, almost like a special light that surrounded him. And the instant I laid eyes on him, I said, that's him. He's the one I've been waiting for.
A policeman by profession, Vern devoted himself to helping the angels achieve their earthly aims. He received urgent messages telling him how to rescue people from life and death peril.
He woke up out of a sound sleep one night, and he woke me up, and he said to me, he said the person's name, and he said, oh, my God, he's going to try and kill himself. He said, I cannot approach him on this, because he said, this is the secret in this person's mind. He said, I'm going to have to wait until he comes to me, and I hope it's soon.
Days later, the angel's prophecy came true. His friend called with a plea. Help me, Vern. You are my last hope. Vern's friend trusted him to give the right advice, and Vern trusted in the guidance of the angels.
Many, many times I watched him change. The look on his face, the look in his eyes. Oftentimes I could see that someone else was helping him and almost speaking through him, guiding him, directing him to always ask the right questions. Vern worked with him 3 times, 3 different sessions, and got his ship back into quiet water. And he's still with us. The man is still on the face of the earth.
We all have been in situations where we could help others. Vern just made a conscious decision to be an instrument for the angels. The angels are pointing upwards. They're saying, look at the divine, look at what you can do as a human, look at the magnificent gift you've been given by being born here as a human.
Vern's missions of mercy were not always so straightforward. Late one night in the mid-1970s, he received a mysterious message.
He had his angel tell him directly, look for the boy with the rose. So a few days went by, and he was getting a little upset. He hadn't found the boy with the rose, and I think that he was kind of looking for a little boy standing on a street corner or in front of his home holding a rose.
The next day, Vern decided to have lunch in a coffee shop he hadn't visited for years and sat down at a counter beside a surly young man.
Very early in their conversation, the young man reached across the counter to pick up his glass of water, and at that time, Vern glanced down and noticed the boy had a rose tattooed on his arm, and he thought to himself, I found him. I found the boy with the rose. Vern tried to kind of lead him into conversation, and the young man was getting quite irritated, using some pretty bad 4-letter words. Finally looked at Vern and said, what's the problem, mister? Are you some kind of a nut? And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I've been called a nut before. He said, but I've been sent here to help you.
Despondent, misunderstood by his parents, the boy told Vern of his plans to kill himself. Vern listened calmly, then amazed the boy by relating his theory of reincarnation.
So he told the boy with the rose tattoo that his theory about life was, before you come into life, you choose your parents. You choose the situation that would best help you deal with whatever you're here to do.
Vern said the more he talked, the bigger this young man's eyes got, like, wow.
At one point, the boy said, well, I don't know if you're some kind of nut or not, but I can tell you care. That was the point that switched it all over. It wasn't even so much what Vern was saying as he really, really cared.
Hopeful that the boy was on a new path, Vern watched him walk away, never to see him again. Over the next 15 years, Vern rescued many souls. Then, in 1988, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Within months, he was dead at age 63. At his funeral, a stranger stepped forward to speak with his widow, Kathy.
And he said, I'm here to say goodbye to Vern, and I'm here to thank him for something that he helped me with a long time ago. If it wasn't for Vern, he said, I wouldn't be here today, and I wouldn't have this beautiful wife and these lovely children. There are a lot of angels walking around on earth, and Vern was definitely an angel to this boy with the rose and to many others, because he did the one thing that an angel does best, no matter what form the angel is in, be it earthly or ethereal. They walk the earth quietly and they dispense hope.
In times of pain, the smallest bit of human contact can mean the difference between hope and despair. The smile of a stranger can mend our troubled hearts. How well we know, but how easily we forget, the healing power of simple human kindness.